Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gumansing. Happy Monday. Topping our newscast, it's the second time this year that the Department of Labor sought the help of the Attorney General's office, and this time it's on a collection effort affecting many local employers and their employees. On Monday, the Attorney General and the Labor Commissioner announced they're going after tens of millions of dollars in unpaid unemployment insurance contributions. News 2's April Knight has that story.
The Justice Department is cracking down on employers neglecting to pay unemployment insurance. For the first time, the Department of Labor under Commissioner Catherine Hendry sought the help of the Attorney General's office. They're launching a collection initiative targeting more than $32 million in unemployment insurance owed by local companies.
The temporary income provided by the UI benefits program helps workers sustain their families when they're out of work. It also keeps money flowing into businesses as this money is spent to provide for basic needs.
On Monday, letters went out to employers letting them know the Justice Department means business. According to the Attorney General, prior efforts to collect the monies failed, including amnesties offered in 2002 and 2004.
We have to address this amount. It has gone on for too long. I mean, it's amazing that this has been carried on for decades.
Because local businesses failed to put in for unemployment insurance, the Virgin Islands ended up borrowing from the federal government to the tune of $70 million. According to the AG, these companies have until June 15th to respond. That means they can either pay up, set up a payment plan, or even contest the amount that they owe. The penalties alone on the $32 million is now up to more than $5 million. According to the Attorney General, his office can also pursue legal sanctions.
After June 15th, the Department of Justice will have to take legal action against these employers. And it could involve very severe legal action that is taken.
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Now, the Attorney General was not very specific on the legal sanctions to be pursued, only that he prefers to speak with the individual employers first before making that decision. Turn our attention to crime reports. Earlier today, Monday, May 16th, at approximately 1:30 this afternoon, a woman called 911 to report shots fired toward her vehicle in the vicinity of Bavoni Road that leads toward the Bavoni housing community. The woman had her children in the vehicle. She told police she was driving close to Lima Plaza when she heard 8 gunshots. She immediately drove away in fear for her life and her children's, according to the police report. No one was injured and the vehicle was not damaged. Now, police continue to investigate. They say on Sunday, May 15th, at about 4:26 a.m., the 911 emergency call center received a report of shots fired in the vicinity of Diamond Plaza near Sunny Island, St. Croix. Preliminary information revealed that police recovered casings spent from many different calibers. There was property damage during the incident, including vehicles, and no suspects or victims have been revealed at this time. This incident is under investigation, and police are asking anyone with information regarding the incident to phone the Criminal Investigation Bureau at 314-712-6024, 712-6037, 911, or the anonymous tip service Crime Stoppers USVI 1-800-222-TIPS. Meanwhile, a 14-year-old is recovering from a single gunshot wound to his left thumb. Police say on Saturday, May 14th at roughly 1:40 p.m. They received a report on St. Thomas that the victim said he did not see the type of vehicle that was driven nor who the shots were fired by. Here's more.
At approximately 11 a.m., while walking in the vicinity of the Purple Shop located in Bavoni, a vehicle drove by and began firing shots at him and 2 of his friends. The victim then stated that they all began to run, and he later realized that one of his fingers was bleeding. He continued by stating that he wrapped his fingers up in some napkins and caught a safari taxi to the hospital for treatment. The minor received treatment for his injury and was later released by the hospital. Any persons having information regarding this incident are asked to contact the Criminal Investigations Bureau at 340-774-2211, extensions 5579 or 5557. They can call 911 or Crime Stoppers VI.
Meanwhile, over the weekend, Police Commissioner responded to the numerous reports of gunfire. Here's more on his reaction.
I'm appealing to the general community to provide whatever assistance you can to the police department that would aid us in bringing some of these perpetrators to justice. The police department has begun its campaign to identify and to target some of these offenders and to bring them to justice. We have established a partnership with our federal agencies, and we intend to respond to all these gun situations within the territory.
Meanwhile, on Friday, May 13th at approximately 2:30 p.m., officers responded to a report of a robbery that took place in the vicinity of First Avenue and Estate Thomas. The victim stated that while walking along First Avenue, a green SUV pulled up next to her and a black unknown male jumped out of the vehicle with a handgun and pointed it towards her head. The suspect demanded the victim give him her chain and tugged on it while it was still around her neck. He was unable to remove the chain, and in fear, the victim said she removed the chain from her neck and gave it to the suspect, who ran back into the vehicle and sped off. A missing woman's family continues to appeal for help. They say 41-year-old Creola Jones disappeared after arriving on the island of St. Croix with her husband. Creola is described at approximately 5 feet 7 inches, black dreadlocks, has brown eyes. Police are urging anyone who sees Creola to contact 911 immediately for further information or contact Detective Kai Joseph. Telephone 340-712-6047. Detective Naomi Joseph, 340-712-6092. Crime Stoppers or the Major Crimes Unit. Anthony Williams Sr., 47 of St. Thomas, made his initial appearance May 12 before U.S. Magistrate Judge Ruth Miller after being charged in a one-count indictment with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. According to the indictment filed on January 14, 2016, Williams was found in possession of a 9mm caliber Taurus pistol on the grounds of UVI. He was previously convicted in North Carolina for conspiracy to possess with intent to distribute marijuana, possession of a firearm during drug trafficking, and possession in commerce of a stolen firearm. Williams faces a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison and a $250,000 fine. Well, as we reported last week, former U.S. President Bill Clinton is on St. Croix tonight at the Island Center participating in a rally. He's making a public appearance to campaign for Hillary Clinton's presidential bid. That rally began at 6 p.m. It's ongoing. We will have more from the rally on Tuesday's newscast. This year's official election season is kicking off, and now it's not just the Republicans taking the limelight. A couple of Democrats are taking election officials to court after a vote taken in March to have political parties conduct and pay for internal party elections. News 2's April Knight has more.
As the 2016 election approaches, vague election laws cause mayhem again, and VI political parties are feeling the effects. Democratic State Chair Cecil Benjamin and Democrat Carol Burke filed a temporary restraining order there against the Election Board's decision in March to have political parties conduct their own elections for party offices.
Who's the state chair, who's the national committee man, or who's the national committee woman is only for purposes of party issues, not for governmental issues.
Benjamin and Burke say the party office elections should be included in the August primaries. But according to Joint Election Board Chairman Arturo Watlington, Benjamin and Burke do not represent the Democratic Party. That's the role of the Territorial Committee, he said, which according to Watlington has already submitted a process for electing party officers. As for paying for that election,
it doesn't talk about paying, but if they are conducting their caucus, yes, they would then put the cost.
Senator Kenneth Gittens, who's been working on election reform measures in the past several months, has this to say about the dispute.
For the Board of Elections to try to sever the offices and try to apply the law piecemeal only to the area that they want, and for the Democratic Party to want to the government to conduct the primary election for them on the backs of the tax-paying citizen. I just think that it's so wrong and unjust.
The issue affects mainly the Democratic Party, which is larger in number. Republicans, meanwhile, say they're all up for conducting and spending for their own party office elections. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Turn our attention overseas. Could there be a Trump-Rubio ticket in the works? According to Donald Trump, absolutely not. The presumptive GOP nominee is hitting back at a Washington Post report that suggests otherwise. The paper cites former candidate Ben Carson as suggesting 5 people are under consideration: Rubio, John Kasich, Ted Cruz, Sarah Palin, and Chris Christie. Carson is part of Trump's search committee. On Twitter, Trump posted the Washington Post report on potential VP candidates is wrong. Marco Rubio and most others mentioned are not under consideration. Demonstrators take to the streets in Caracas Saturday. In Venezuela, opposition forces demand a recall vote in President Nicolas Maduro. The Democratic Unity Coalition wants Mr. Maduro out because of the country's economic crisis. Opposition leaders say the government is stalling on verifying signatures in favor of the recall referendum. Keeping our eye on the economy, here's a look at the stock market watch at the New York Stock Exchange. Taking a look at the numbers there, we can see everything up. The Dow 175, NASDAQ 57, S&P 500 up 20. Coming up on News 2, across the nation, law enforcement officers have been celebrating National Police Week. Every year on May 15th, police officers pause to remember their fallen comrades during a peace officer memorial service. Welcome back. Across the nation, National Police Week is being celebrated from May 15th to May 21st this year. Since last year, the police department has been holding events in connection with the national observance, and those events continue with many community organizations this week. Senator Kenneth Gittens, who is also a retired police officer, said he is looking forward to joining the community and paying tribute to the men and women in uniform who risk their lives to protect and serve their communities. Gittens described law enforcement as a dangerous and thankless job. The monetary compensation is sometimes insufficient, he said, but the rewards in the form of gratitude is immeasurable. According to Gittens, even as prayers are important, police officers should also be provided with the financial stability to provide for their families. Well, law enforcement officers have been celebrating National Police Week every year on May 15th. Police officers pause to remember their fallen comrades during a peace officer memorial service. Across the nation, law enforcement officers have been celebrating National Police Week. Every year on May 15th, police officers pause to remember their fallen comrades.
Many years ago, back in 1962, the late John F. Kennedy, while president in office, designated this week as National Police Week and the 15th of the month as Peace Officers Memorial Day.
A parade of officers paid respect to their fallen comrades.
On this day, as we did today, we paid tribute to those officers who made the ultimate sacrifices for the department and the members of this community. What we did is we actually paid gravesite visits to the officers, the deceased officers in Christiansted, Kingshill, and then we went to the Frederiksted Cemetery. And then we came back up to the pavilion where we laid a wreath on the memoriam for the officers who departed this life.
VI police officers saluted the policemen who fell in the line of duty. Police Commissioner Delroy Richards laid a wreath at each gravesite, talking about the officers and offered continued condolences to the families present.
As you know, we added a new name to the memoriam, and it is that of deceased Police Corporal Wendell Williams. We believe that we have some closure, and now we know what basically occurred with Wendell Williams.
Officers across the territory who died in the line of duty's names were read during the annual Peace Officers Memorial Service.
Because our men in blue and women in blue have continued to risk their lives for the folks of this community. And trust me, that's exactly what they do on a daily basis. And now we have to continue to pay tribute to our police officers, and as long as I'm in office, I intend to do just that.
Now, a peace officer memorial parade that was scheduled for Saturday, May 14th on St. Thomas was canceled due to lack of participation. That's according to a statement released on Friday evening by the VIPD. In other news, Interim Executive Director of WAPA, Julio Reimer Sr., said Friday that a lineman was injured while performing work in the Hull Bay area of St. Thomas. The lineman was part of a line department crew working to transfer primary electric lines from an old pole to a newly planted pole in Estate St. Peter when he apparently came in contact with an energized line. He said the accident is a stark reminder of the dangers inherent in the jobs performed. He was grateful, he said, for the efficient medical care that was rendered at the scene by EMS and representatives at the Schneider Hospital. The lineman suffered extensive injuries to both of his hands. An internal investigation continues, he said. The Department of Human Services had some good news recently. The department announced that they recently received notice from the U.S. Department of Agriculture that the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, formerly known as food stamps, received an additional grant award in the amount of $425,000. The federal grant is in response to the department's successful application for 100% additional funding from the Food and Nutrition Service of the USDA, according to Commissioner Vivian Ebson-Flood. More than one half of that grant will be used for contractual services with community partners. Well, Golden Bear, you saw that in our little shot earlier there, and it's parked its berth at the Waco dock, the California State University Maritime Academy's training ship. You can see it right there at Waco's dock. It was there from Saturday, May 14th, and it'll be there till Tuesday, May 17th. Golden Bear is en route from Long Beach, California to Baltimore, and it's the ship's third visit to St. Thomas in 1 year. Waco's CEO extended a welcome to those on board, hoping that they have the opportunity to experience the beauty and culture of the Virgin Islands. According to Cal State University Maritime Academy website, cadets in their first and third years depart with licensed faculty officers for 2 months during the annual training cruise. Well, the West Indian Company is also reminding you of Carnival on the Dock, and that's from 5:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. on Tuesday. Spectrum Band will be the main act, a special intermission performance by Dancing Classrooms, Virgin Islands, Inc. The Norwegian Escape will be in port from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m., while the Carnival Glory will be in port from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. The Carnival Magic will arrive at 11 a.m. and depart at 7 p.m. St. Croix Chamber of Commerce held a ribbon-cutting ceremony for Bellissimo's Beauty and Spa. This after 10 years on St. Croix, Arcadis M. Abdallah saw the need for a truly upscale beauty spa that would cater to both men and women with top-of-the-line services in a beautiful and private setting. For that special spa experience, Arcadis has opened Bellissimo's Beauty and Spa in the Princess Plaza. Every month, the Chamber recognizes a new business as a way of supporting St. Croix's economic growth. Meanwhile, the next Chamber of Business After Hours on St. Thomas will be hosted by Synergy Fitness and Wellness Center. That's Thursday, May 19th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at their location in the East End Plaza across from the Red Hook Ferry Dock. It's always a great opportunity to learn more about the business and network. St. Croix Track Club Mustangs performed very well at the AAJI Championships for 6 to 13-year-old in Ponce, Puerto Rico on May 14th. The group took 2 athletes, Ariana Edgar and Makari Matthew, who qualified for the championships competition. They began spiritedly after the parade of athletics and introduction of the teams. The top 8 ranked athletes over the season met to crown the best 3 athletes in each category. Edgar finished with a bronze in the 80-meter dash. Matthew finished with a gold in the 80-meter dash and a bronze in the 300 meters. Next weekend, they will be taking 9 athletes to Puerto Rico to compete in the 14 to 18 age group. Congratulations to the St. Croix reps there. Now, the Virgin Islands government will fund a multi-purpose sports facility. That's good news on the grounds of UVI St. Croix campus, accessible to